lights, voices shouting through the night. Static hum that shakes the ground, Riff Nation rising loud, profound. Feel the fire, feel the fight, we're the shadows in the night. Crashing waves, we take the stage, unleash the fury, turn the page. Steel strings scream the truth we bring, echoed chaos, hearts that sting. Electric veins that feed the roar, harder, faster, crave for more. Dust and sparks ignite the air, shattered silence, do we dare? Tidal force, relentless stream, we're the edge, we're the dream. Feel the fire, feel the fight, we're the shadows in the night. Crashing waves, we take the stage, unleash the fury, turn the page. Riff Nation, hold the line. In the chaos, we align. Through the storm, through the pain, we're the anthem in your veins. Feel the fire, feel the fight, we're the shadows in the night. Crashing waves, we take the stage, unleash the fury, turn the page. Riff Nation, hold the line. In the chaos, we align. Through the storm, through the pain, we're the anthem in your veins.
The engine is self-starting.
For launch, GC, go. Guidance, go. Fido, go. Prop, go. GNC, go. Max, go. Eagle, go. Ecom,
Go pending final steps to cabin link check.
2, 1.
Is there anyone here that would like to communicate with us? Can you give us a sign?
Welcome to the Riff Nation Network, the RNN, putting a slide in your glide and a dip in your hip. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe. With shows throughout the week, you can find us at Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Everything you could want, everything you can need right here, right now. From the paranormal to the supernatural, from comedy to the spiritual. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
It's showtime, folks!
Podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
Hello, good evening. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Rift Nation Network. I am your host, Joni Skinner, for Mysteries Beyond the Scenes. Tonight, we go through missing person cases. We look at mysteries. We also look at cold cases, true crime at its best. And we add astrology, forensic astrology, where we map out mapping for missing persons. We look at the event chart, what happened on the time that the person went missing. And that's what we do every Wednesday. So welcome. We're streaming live on YouTube, Facebook. And if you are a podcaster, please check us out on Spotify. So welcome tonight. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope your week is going well. It's Wednesday, the middle of the week for True Crime. I can't even talk. Crap. True Crime Wednesday on the Rift Nation Network. Hello, chat. How are you, Miss Rowe? How's it going? Hello, Miss Lee. Where's our chat? Come on in, chat. Well, I got started a little early tonight. I don't know why. It's just a little bit. Maybe I was just a little bit happy with the buttons and started a tad bit early. So I guess, remember last week we were talking about the rain and the storms that were due. I remember I'm like, now everybody be careful, because Peggy was here and Peggy's down in New Orleans. And I'm like, be careful, be careful. Sure enough, that night at home, 1 a.m., our sirens went off for tornado, which, that's okay. Tornado warnings. So what we do, I yell for my son, we grab the cat. We either put on Ryan Hall or Max Velocity on YouTube. We watch them live during tornado season. All of a sudden, Max starts calling out where I live, my subdivision, names it. If you are in this area, get in your safe spot now. So I'm like, oh no, because usually if I know tornadoes are in the forecast, I'll pack a bag and get the cat carrier. I get ready. I get prepared. So if the sirens go off, just wake up, just grab the cat. Matt usually goes outside and looks around. He looks for it. Then they named it a TDS, particularly dangerous situation. It's like, uh-oh, this is it. This is it. So they kept saying our area where we live, it's headed right to you guys. And we're like, oh, crap, it's here. So I'm looking at my son. I'm listening to Ryan Hall. The cat is screaming. I'm like, well, this is it. It was literally forming right. We were watching on our phones, and it was literally right above our heads. And it's never happened to me in all my years living in a tornado belt. So I'm looking, and all of a sudden the electric goes out. And I thought, that's it. That's it. We're done. That's it. We're done. And I've never been in that situation where you almost are too scared. You're almost too scared to even think. Your mind is not, you know what's happening, but you don't know. Do you know what I mean? And then the lights came back on. Okay. And then they went back off again. And I'm like, crap, come on. Just come on. Just wanted the lights back on. And of course, Matt was losing his cell power and I was losing my cell power. But then one of us, we would get the radar back up. Do you know that darn thing, that darn tornado? We finally, make a long story short, the tornado was forming right above my house. And I was on what's called the updraft. So here it's spinning, right? I'm on the updraft. We had pouring down rain. It was pouring down rain. We didn't have any wind because the thing was pulling all the updraft. All the wind was getting sucked up where we were at. So we had zero wind. There was no limbs down, nothing here. So it's traveling, and they called the street, which you go up the hill, because the golf course is there. You go up the hill, and they said it was on that hill. That's where it touched down. So it touched down right at the top of my street. So the minute they said that, Matt said, oh, we're fine. We can come out of the safe space. It's gone. Sure enough, we were watching it because they knew they could tell you where the tornado was traveling. If you watch Ryan Hall Max Velocity, they pinpoint it down for you. Do you know that thing? My office is about 4.5 miles from me. It's about 4.5 miles from me. It went up past it formed here, went up and went over the interstate, I-71, 75, went over the interstate. And the whole time it's touching down, coming up, touching down, coming up. It missed our office building within 50 yards. It touched down. It took off roofs all around where my work is, but it missed our office building. Now, our power was out at work on Thursday. I went up there about noon and took pictures and sent them into our office and stuff. But we were fine. Our building was fine. But there's an assisted living right down below us. They lost part of their roof, and I felt so bad for the older folks. But they got that fixed immediately. An appliance store lost their roof. A hotel got damaged. It was like all the trees were down. Wildest night of my life. So I'm never going to say, y'all be careful. There's going to be storms, because I'm like, no more. We are tornadoed out here. Tornadoed out. Our mall got hit. It was a really busy area where we live. I mean, the airport is right here. And my daughter was just texting me going, you okay? You okay? And I'm like, yeah, are you okay? You okay? Everybody, I was texting Vicky. I was texting Crystal, our Crystal. And then at 4 a.m, one was headed towards Crystal. And I'm like, Crystal, get in your basement. There's one headed your way. Everybody was in our area we were up the entire night because everybody was texting each other, So it was wild. Luckily, thank God, knock on wood, no injuries. A lot of trees down. People cleaned it up. It got, it's fine now. But I'll tell you what, I never want to go through that crap again. That was scary. Next time, I'm going to go out and storm chase it. But it's like Matt said, it's pitch black out. We couldn't have seen it. We didn't see it. So pay attention to the weather. Pay attention to the weather, friends, because I'll tell you what, if it weren't for Ryan Hall or Max Velocity, those kids on YouTube, I'll tell you what, they got us through it. They knew exactly where they said it was touching down and coming back up, because they can see the debris ball. That's what they call it. They were spot exact on exactly where they said it was touching down. It was touching down, and the National Weather came and confirmed it. Crazy. Crystal and I were like flipping out. So, and I know Lisa tunes in sometimes. Hi, Lisa, if you're watching. Lisa was the same way. She lives in our area. It was a scary night. Be careful, y'all. If you hear that you're going to get tornadoes, pay attention. It's nothing to mess with. Just seeing the power of what this one did here. And we had a little one. We had a tiny one. It wasn't a big F3, F4. But what it took down was bad enough. So just be careful, y'all. Pay attention to it. I thought it was funny because it was last Wednesday. I was sitting here thinking, crap, last Wednesday I was waiting for the storms because I thought it was just going to rain. We thought it was just going to rain. Sure enough, we were wrong. Like, shit, never again. I want to move to Florida. I'll take a hurricane. How are you, Chad? How are you, Miss Rowe? How's it going? How's life treating you? How's that place going? Hello, Miss Lee. How's it going? Oh, just drama. Too much drama. I want quiet. No storms. No storms. The poor cat was all stressed out. I tried to feed her. I thought maybe I could just feed her and get her into the bathroom. She hates going in the bathroom. She flips out. She hates it. Hello, Sir Keith. Thank you for sharing out. I hope y'all are doing well. Thanks, Renee. Thanks for sharing this out. I know, Lee. It was wild. Never again. Knock on wood. Never again. I never want to go through that again. I was really scared. I usually don't get scared in storms. Rarely. I think they're cool. But This I was scared. I don't know if it was scared. I don't know what it was. It was what's going to happen when the building falls. That's what you think. You don't. It's just weird. I can't describe it. It's very weird. Hello, Miss Kathy. How are you? My phone is not posting or listening to me. Uh-oh, that's not good. Phones need to listen to us. Hello, Miss Lois. How are you, hon? Oh, you're so sweet. That's so sweet. Happy you're safe. I'm telling you. You know, that thing went across the Ohio River, too. It formed over in Indiana, and I'm telling you what, the river doesn't stop it. No tornado here, just a bear running around town. Oh, Lord. I know when we go camping around here that they have all those bear, protective bear garbage cans. We got little black bears. Glad you're okay and safe. Thanks, Kath. Don't feed the bears, Lee. If you're feeding it thinking it's a pet, that's when they come around. Don't feed it. Come on down. I know, girl. I was terrified. I love Florida. I love Florida. I do, Donna. I love it. Don't feed that bear, Lisa. Don't feed them. That's why they're coming around. People are feeding them. Oh, you got to be careful in the mountains down here, in the Smoky Mountains, like the same where Roe is too. You can't mess with them. You scream at them. If they come at you, you just start, screaming at them. They run away. They don't want to hear a woman screaming. You're supposed to scream at a bear. They take off. They leave you alone. Don't feed the damn thing. I hope y'all are doing well. This is the weirdest case. I got kind of a story about it. This case, I noticed it made the headlines last week. Because it was an older case, right? This case of Nicole Baldwin. They had drained the law enforcement down in Florida, Central Florida, had drained a lake. And I thought, well, that's interesting. I'm going to check into this case. So I pulled up the case and I thought, this is so familiar. Have I covered this in the show? I think I have. I couldn't remember. I went through all of the old slideshows, and I'm thinking, I haven't covered this case on the show. And the more I got into it, I was watching some YouTubes on it. JLR covered it, and I kind of vaguely remembered that. Couldn't remember. What is it about this case? I know I've seen this. And then I got to thinking, how many cases a year, or in all the times that you've had the show, how many have you looked at? And I added it up. I think it's about 2,000. So I thought, well, maybe I don't know, just confused. So I get through this case and I'm researching it and looking for some pictures to put up the slideshow. There's Mike from Peace River. And guess who is searching? Little Splash. I thought, Mike had this. That's right. That's right. Now I remember it. So I wasn't going crazy. So I started laughing and I thought I got all the way through it. I mapped it, I charted it, and that's when I looked for pictures to put up in the slideshow. Sure enough, there's little Splash looking for Miss Nicole. So I thought, oh Lord. Isn't that funny, Donna? I'll have to email Mike. Linda says they got bears being sighted in Connecticut. Never did when I was growing up there. Yeah. You yell at them, tell them to just go, hey, get out of here. Go, get out of here. Hello, Miss Cindy. Driving home listening to you. Drive home careful, hon. Drive home careful. I hope y'all are doing well. I think bears are beautiful. You know that the little black ones aren't as nasty. I'll tell you, the ones that are mean are those brown bears, grizzly bears. They're the ones that are kind of mean. I think black bears kind of just leave you alone, but they do attack people. You got to be mindful of your garbage. They get in your garbage. They're a mess. They will tear up your area. Kids got to be careful around them. But I'll tell you what, it's weird. It's weird right now. It's going to get weird too. It's going to get weirder. It's going to get weirder. We can hang on to a palm tree next hurricane. Oh, I know it. They kind of freak me out too. I don't like her. I don't like the storm surge in a hurricane. Yeah, bear would jump in a pool. Bears like pools. They like water. It's crazy. It's a crazy time. Wait till July. I'm looking at the astrology for July. I might talk about it a little next week because July is really different going into July for 2026. I don't know. We'll see what happens with true crime. Apparently, there's a gal that gets on live streams and she's got her own podcast, but I don't know the name of it. She just started it. Her name is Maureen, and she is retired FBI agent, really good as a podcaster. And she made the statement that her inside scoop, her inside sources on the Guthrie case is that they are, and I don't know if it's true, it could just be gossip on the internet, that they're close to an arrest on the Guthrie case. We'll see. There's a gal too, and last Sunday, Keith texted me and said, get on Howie's show real quick. Get on there. I was doing my carpets. I was steam cleaning my carpets. And I'm like, oh, okay. And he had a medium on his show that was giving places where she felt Miss Guthrie was. And so I was going to map where I thought, I have to remap it and look and mark where she thought she was. Again, we have a lot of lines going to Mexico. We've also got some going up to Phoenix, too. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on the Guthrie case. It's weird what's going on with that case. So we'll have to keep an eye on that for next week. So, but this case tonight is very familiar. At any time, Donna, if you know anything, correct me. If this case is very, very weird. The circumstances behind this case are very odd. Law enforcement this is still open because they just drained a pond. Open investigation, but they're very, very tight-lipped. They have not let anything leak out of this case, which I think that's good. I think that's good. But it's kind of frustrating for us because we want to know all the scoops, but yet they're being tight-lipped about it. But you can tell they're still working it because they just drained a pond. So I'll tell you what I could pick up from it. Not a lot of information out there, but what you can pick up bits and pieces of it. And I charted it from when her daughter last saw her. And when it's so funny when you do forensic astrology, we use an event chart. For those of you who aren't familiar with forensic astrology, I go by the time that person was last seen, a last text message, a last seen on camera footage. We have to have an exact time. The more accurate the time, then the charting, the astrology will be 100% accurate. I'll stand by it at all times. When I did this chart for the time that her daughter said she last saw her, she was the last known person to see her. I did the chart, and when I did the chart, I knew. You just know when you look at the chart, it's not right. But I map it because, sometimes your feelings can override and you listen to what the astrology is telling you, not what you're telling the astrology. But in my gut, I knew that chart wasn't right. So what was funny is I was watching what was it? It was either a YouTube or a newsreel. And her daughter said, my dad texted me. And she held up her phone. And there was a timestamp on there the following morning that Nicole had disappeared and the time. And he said, your mother isn't home. So-and-so must have picked her up and took her somewhere. So I thought, I'm going to use that timestamp. Sure enough, I'll let you look at that chart, but I think that chart is a lot more accurate than the original one I did. So I got two charts here. So here we go. Let's get started with Nicole. So Nicole Baldwin is a mother of three. We're in Central Florida. Now, this is the family dynamic, and the most that the police have said is they've got several persons of interest. No one has been named. No one has been arrested. But the only thing the police will say are family dynamics, whatever that means. Okay, who knows? So what happened is Nicole and her ex-husband lived in this home in Central Florida and with their three children. Her daughter was an adult, and there were two minor children living there with mom and dad, but mom and dad were divorced. Mom, Nicole's boyfriend, also lived in the home. So we have ex-husband, mom, three children, and a boyfriend, all living in the home. It's a big home. Okay, I get it. Mom and dad maybe want to raise the children. Mom can date, dad can date. Okay, who am I? So that's what we've got going on here. Chaotic seemed to be in this family dynamic. It just seemed like it. She was on medications, and everybody loved Nicole. Very kind, very sweet. She and her daughter were the best of friends. And her daughter last saw her on November 3rd, 2023. So this case is fairly new, okay? She last saw her the night they were celebrating her daughter's birthday. And it was about 11:30 at night. After the party, her daughter went in and talked to her. Mom was laying down on the bed with her son, and he was playing video games, and they were all chatting, just family time. And her daughter left for a couple of days, go out with friends to celebrate her birthday. Her daughter's an adult. That's the last time her daughter, Alicia, saw her a lot at all. So on a couple days later, Alicia returns home. Mom is gone. She had received that text from Dad in the morning where he stated Mom had had been either picked up or left with somebody. So Alicia starts looking around. Her mom's purse is there. Her phone is there. Apple Watch is there. Debit card is there. No mom. Kids had not seen mom either. So it's very odd. Now, Nicole had a car. Her boyfriend did not have a car. The boyfriend texted the daughter and said, I'm at the hospital. Can you come and pick up your mom's car? Okay. So nobody knows what he went in the hospital for, whether it was a panic attack. Nobody knows. And it's still never been released why he was in the hospital. When did he go to the hospital? What if the children said, did anything occur in the home? So the following day, her daughter reported her as missing. She was reported missing in a nightgown. No, all of her shoes were accounted for. So her daughter said she was in her nightgown. They were getting ready to go to bed when she was going out with friends. Massive search went on for Nicole. In this area where they live, y'all, there are over 1,000 lakes in this area. 1,000 lakes. They live on a lake. Here's the home. And this is what we know what happened. Okay. So the police, after Nicole had been missing for about 3 weeks, the police show up to the home about 3 weeks later at the end of November with a search warrant. They got everybody's phones. They took their phones, as typical what they do with the search warrant. Took the phones, took everything, the electronics. Well, and remember, we've got dad living there. Boyfriend has now moved out. We've got the kids. And Nicole is still missing. Well, come to find out, dad gets arrested because of having some things, nothing related to the case of Nicole being missing. Nothing related to that. In the middle of December, dad was arrested for having things on his phone that he should not, pertaining to children. And you know what he had on his phone, right? Let's move ahead. Dad goes to jail. The other children ended up going with dad's grandmother, dad's mother. So the other children are with the grandma. Nicole is still missing. And dad gets sentenced to 15 years in jail for what was on his phone. So you can imagine it's pretty, well, those are hard federal charges, right? Nicole is still missing. So that's the situation. The police are very tight-lipped. There's her lovely daughter, Alicia. And Alicia said, my mom was even planning on dyeing her hair. She said the hair dye was still even there. What happened in the home? Did the kids talk? What happened in the home? Nobody knows. The police, and there's the text from dad. That's where I got the timestamp. And it says, I don't know. And by the way, Matt or somebody came to pick up your mother because she's not home. Weird. So mom is gone. They've got people of interest. So in 2024, look who is out helping search. Our little, we're on Team Splash. There's Mike. And there's Splash searching for Nicole. There he is. Little Splash. Again, there's the text message. So there's really nothing to go on. There's so many questions. What about cameras? Her car was impounded. If anything, did they find anything in the car? The house was deemed a crime scene. What did they find? How did something happen if everybody's in the home? Where was everybody? There were so many people in the home. What happened? We don't know. We know nothing. There's nothing has been released. No arrests and nothing's been released. So I used, what was funny about this chart, I used 1130, right? So check this out on the 1130 chart. And I knew, okay, my bad. Now, last week, y'all, they went to another pond and they drained it. They drained it looking for her. So they said they had a tip. Search for missing mom continues. They literally drained a pond. So they're on this. They're on this case. So this, y'all, let's take a look at the chart this is from the 11:30 p.m. timestamp from when her daughter last saw Nicole. Now look, we also look at patterns, by the way, in astrology. What's a pattern? Well, look in this. If you look straight ahead at this chart and it's in orange, this is called a kite formation. A kite formation in a forensic astrology chart means that the situation got to a point, somebody hit the tipping point. So this is a situation that has been building and building, ongoing situation that's been occurring, and something occurred and there was a tipping point. That's what a kite means in a chart. That kite pattern is they're pretty unusual. So if we look at Nicole, we see that it's Cancer is the rising, and the ruler is the moon. It's in the first house. Okay, that's Nicole. This chart just made zero sense to me whatsoever, right? We look at if I look at the third house, that tells us within the neighborhood. Remember what was Nicole doing? Venus is in there. Venus would denote a woman, a female, right? Let's look at the perp. The perp is Capricorn in the yellow. So we look for Saturn. Saturn is the ruler. Saturn's up in the 9th house as the perp. Now, the 9th house can be odd. It can be somebody that's foreign. Remember, it can be that she was moved. It could mean near a highway. It can mean somebody that's either in a cult or is got like cult-like religious ideology to the extreme, right? In the 9th house, we notice that Saturn is in that house, which means she could be in a very remote, difficult terrain area, okay, by a highway. Now, Neptune is also up in that house. Watery areas, remote watery area, taken from the neighborhood to a watery neighborhood. Now, there's a female that may know something. Maybe it's a neighbor. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's somebody knows something involved with that. That could be that they saw something, could be on a camera. We just don't know. What's odd in this chart is the 5th house. Look at the 5th house. It's loaded. Fifth house those are things that are fun, but in an event chart, in a forensic chart, they're taboo. This is parties. This could be a lot of drug use. Okay. Could have been under the influence of substances. Could be also manipulation, risky behaviors. So this chart really wasn't saying a whole lot to me. Wasn't saying much of anything to me. Ninth house was in Pisces. She was in Cancer. She's in water. No mistake about that. No mistake about that. That packed fifth house, the three water houses are packed. Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. It's water, hidden. Saturn, hidden, could be undiscovered for a while. The 11th house with Taurus in there could be exaggerated religious beliefs. Jupiter is in there with that. Exaggerated, over the top. So it's just kind of, and then of course we've got Uranus in there, and it means a sudden disappearance, unexpected disappearance. That's it. That's it for that 1130 chart. I believe she was still very much alive into that. Of course she was. Her daughter saw her, but there's nothing in here that shows us anything really pointing out to, something nefarious with, it's just not yet. Not yet. So I was bashing my brains, but I mapped it anyway. Okay. So now, remember we talked about water. Check this out on this map. Look at the map from her home and look at all those areas I circled, which are water. They have checked just about every waterway where she lives. They have checked them all. But there's got to be one or another that they've missed. Okay. So let's let me show you the rest of this map. Okay, here's the map. And now if you look up, see that blue pin up there where a line goes? There's a lake up there. What's weird is we have a line that goes up to where they searched already in a lake from a tip. What's funny about that is the line goes almost right to the lake, but out in the woods. So if I would say go back to that area, don't check in the water, but check the surrounding area. If they got a tip to where that blue dot, that blue pin is, they could find something up there, because our chart goes right up to where they were searching and the mileage is exactly dead on. But it's a little bit away from the lake where they were searching. They were searching in the water. There's some more water areas, more waterways to check. Look at that. Look at that. Another waterway. Look at that line, those lines right there in between it. Okay, so see that blue pin? There's a lake there, but if you go up a little bit to the blue pin, there's another lake that was right up there that they checked. But our line is about a quarter mile away from the lake. I would check the wooded area by the lake because that line goes right there. So if they got a tip there, I'd go look there again. More lakes. Look at that. It's crazy. Look at this. Look at that. Seems like they've checked a lot of them. Now, check this out. This is the chart, y'all, of when Dad texted Alicia to say, Mom isn't here, so-and-so picked her up. Here we go. I think this is our chart. I haven't had time to map this yet, but I'll map it tomorrow. I'll map this, right? So check this out. Look at that first house. Okay? And y'all know you've looked at enough of these charts, crime charts. When we have a packed first house, that means it's right in front of the victim. If you remember the TV personality that we had a couple weeks ago, and she was abducted going to her car, that one up in, I think it was Minnesota, Wisconsin, TV personality, she had a packed first house, right? Look at that. So she is in this. She is she's Scorpio in this particular chart. So the ruling planets for Scorpio are Mars and Pluto. She's right there in the first house. When we have the victim is right next to the sun, it's called combust. It's called combust. So she is combust with the sun, meaning in complete danger. Complete danger. She's combust with the sun. And we've got Mercury there too. Message could be that could be the children. Mercury can be children too. But she was targeted through aggression directly. Mercury says that she left something behind. Something was left behind. Well, we know things were left behind. Her purse, her watch, her wallet, debit card was all left behind. Pluto in the third is a sudden attack. It was a fight. In the fifth house, again, we've got Neptune in there too. Drugs, could be alcohol. Our perp is Venus. Our perp is Venus in the 11th house. The perp is in the 11th house. Jupiter and Uranus are in that 7th house. Again, this person is unpredictable. Sudden attack. So it was a sudden attack of some kind. Now, she's also, remember, the co-ruler is the moon. Moon in the 9th house when the moon is with Cancer. Okay? It's something that was repeated actions due to unstable behavior where it just pushed over the edge. The situation was pushed over the edge. It was repeated actions, unstable behavior. So whatever happened to her was a repeated behavior. Religious cult, religious ideology, and a belief system, very emotional. Let's see, what else do we got in here? That's about it on this one, I think. This is this chart. Also, this other chart, the first chart had a grand trine in it, besides the fact that it had that kite. Remember it had the kite? I'll show it to you. Show you what a grand trine is. So we had, in this chart, we had a kite. But if you look at the triangle, so we've got the first house going up to the 9th house, going down to the 5th. You can see it's a big triangle. It's a big triangle. So we had a grand trine and we had a kite. So what that is with a trine, overwhelming events from long-standing tensions that have built up and multiplied and have just gotten overwhelming. No resistance. It's a smooth crime. Right? So it's kind of described what happened. Something exploded. Something occurred. So I'm going to map this, a little curious to see about this. But, we didn't get answers, but I think we've got some good mapping. Like I said, I was a little bit encouraged by the map to where they had gotten a tip. Somebody tipped them off, and that's at a Bible. It's at a Bible camp. This particular place where the blue pin is a lake that's at a Bible camp. Now, remember, we got a lot of religious overtones that are in the charts. Religious ideology that's overboard, that's overtones. That could be that Bible camp, right? I would search that entire Bible camp like crazy just because I know that's where they went. They got some kind of a tip there and they went and searched it. But they searched the lake. They didn't search around the area. And I know down in Central Florida, this terrain is tough. They battle critters, they battle alligators, they battle spiders that are the size of small dogs. I mean, these people search and rescue down there they battle the elements and animals like crazy. So, and she disappeared in 2023. So she could be in that area where I would look at the Bible camp for sure. But this is a case where I think they're going to keep searching on it. They have not released anything. They said they've got a slew of persons of interest. You know, a lot of dynamics what must have gone on, but there's a lot of questions. Did the children hear anything? Did they question the children? When was the last time anybody else in the home saw her? Was there anything in the car? Why was the home deemed a crime site with crime tape? Do they feel that something occurred in the home? Why did the ex-boyfriend go to the hospital? Was there anything in her car? So there's a lot of questions. I don't know. I don't know. And they've done no pressers, nothing. But they're actively working this case. So let's just hope that they find out who did this for the kids, for her daughter and the children involved, because, it's just terrible. It's just terrible. Grandma's raising the children and no answers. So does anybody have anything to say about this or know anything about it? Have you heard anything about it? Donna, do you want to add anything to this? If I know if that's around your area, or if you've heard any other things that maybe we don't know to add some light. Ro, do you see anything in the charts that I missed? Chime in, chat. Lee is an expert in the Guthrie case already. I'll tell you what. I'm telling you, that's the case that just, I wish they would find her. It just seems like never wants to, just very weird. Very weird. It's a weird case. It's not making any sense either. And thank you, kid. Guthrie case has got a lot of questions. I got a lot of questions about the Guthrie case. That's not adding up to me. That one is another one that's not adding up. And now they're going after the streamers and the YouTubers, because it seems like that the media left. The only people that continue to come back, and it's not all the time, they come back and they do their reports. They talk on live streams to their audience about true crime and where's Nancy. They're going out and searching. These people are getting arrested if they're near her house for being a nuisance because they're live streaming. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And Kathy's son has car issues. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Kath. Hello, Miss Denise. Late getting home, catching up on YouTube. How are you, Miss Denise? Okay, I don't have anything to add. Sorry. You know, it's a weird case, isn't it? You know, I know Crystal has some stuff with her Florida cases too, because she asked me to do that one last week on the Florida case with the baby that was taken out of her crib, that little baby. And but this is just you know, I know sometimes people that are in within these areas, or like it's in your state, you kind of get more information than we do. But they've kept this one kind of they've kept this one pretty locked down tight, because there's not a lot of information out there. There's not anything in the press. There's nothing in the press, and there's nothing, not a lot of YouTubers or true crimers have picked this case up, which is a little unusual because it's an unusual case. But there's not a lot to pick up because there's really nothing to tell. You know, father was arrested for unrelated charges. The smaller children are with grandma, and she's got the adult daughter, and that's it. That's about it. It's just kind of weird. They need to follow tip. Yes, they do. They need to follow that tip out at that Bible place, at the Bible camp. And yes, arrest's not good. I know. Well, that's the only real light that the astrology is showing us, went right to the Bible camp. So I would say look around there. I'm going to map the other one. The other charts seem to hit a little bit more. Something very weird happened in that home. And, you know, I don't know what. Maybe it happened in a car. Who knows? There's nothing. Even AI can't give you any info. So that's that case. Does anybody have any other cases they want to add any info on, or any other information they want to share with the chat before we go? Oh, this Friday, if anybody is interested, and I don't think I've talked about it on the live stream. As you all know, I have just a normal astrology page. It's not forensic astrology, but it's just regular astrology for people that want to learn astrology, talk about astrology, everything astrology. It's a private group on Facebook called Astrology the Series on Facebook. We do the majority of the time I do like one mini series a month, usually in the winter. Well, I picked, we're going to do one this Friday via Zoom. If you want to come into the session, join our group, Astrology the Series. Just go and put down that you want to join. And I'm doing a mini series on what is called draconic astrology. What is draconic astrology? In draconic astrology, it is what is considered the soul's chart. It's the soul's chart from the beginning of time. So in draconic astrology, you reincarnate, you come back, and you come back. And each time you have a different natal chart or a birth chart. The draconic chart is your soul or higher consciousness chart. So it's a little mini series. If you don't even know astrology, I'll be honest with you, it's very, very draconic, is very easy to pick up. Please join us, join the group. You're welcome to come in. It'll be about probably usually our mini sessions. People come in and out. It's really casual. Aren't they, girls? They're very, very casual. Everybody, you grab your drink, everybody talks. They're really nice. So if you want to join that and you're not in our group, please do join. So that's this Friday at 8 p.m. It's Draconic Astrology. It's going to be a fun mini session. we've got that Draconic Astrology, 8 p.m. Eastern. Like I said, it's Astrology, the series. And even if you don't want to do the Draconic and you're interested in just regular astrology, please join the group. So I think that's about it. Oh, I love the minis. I can't wait. Oh, I know. I'm excited about it. Can't wait. You're going to be surprised. It's very, very easy to pick up. I love the group. It's a great group, isn't it, Linda? We have a great time. So much fun. Yep. And it's funny, when people started, they were just learning astrology. And that was like, we're going on almost 2 years. That was, they were just learning astrology. They are astrologers now. They know their stuff. They're astrologers. So it's really neat. Really, really neat. Really neat. Yes, Alex got Alex, who streams with his name is Alex. He streams with JLR, and he lives in Tucson. He was out in front of Nancy Guthrie's house streaming on a live, and they arrested him because they said he was a public nuisance for doing a live stream. Isn't that freedom of the press? Do they not consider them the press? And he was on a street, on a public street. That sheriff does not like YouTubers. Sheriff does not, it's known, the sheriff does not like YouTubers. I think they just, because they get to the truth. They get to the truth. It's a really weird dynamic out there. Weird vibes out there. And that whole case was weird. I need to do my charts. Yep. The whole Guthrie vibe is weird. So if Maureen is right, and Maureen is good. She was an ex-FBI agent. Well, not ex. I mean, she retired as an FBI agent. She knows her stuff. And she said her sources from within are saying that she's 75% sure that they're just almost ready to make an arrest. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if what the astrology said matches what I think the arrest is coming. So we'll see. Well, they don't consider them the press. They don't like YouTubers. They don't like YouTubers. It's the press. The mainstream media and the quote unquote press are the ones that are complaining. They're the ones complaining about the YouTubers. Why? Because the YouTubers are going out and doing real journalism. Because the mainstream media, they're not journalists. They don't do any reporting. They don't go out and get stories. They don't go out and do what they used to do. They don't. Nobody watches the mainstream media anymore. The YouTubers get millions of viewers. The mainstream media gets nobody. But we've got Pluto in that house in America's chart. So they're destroying the mainstream media. I'll probably tell you where the complaints are coming from about the YouTubers, are from the connections of people around there that are connected to the mainstream media. They don't like YouTubers. They get the big audiences. YouTubers are getting millions of views. They get the audience, the YouTubers. They get the audience. So that's who I think has been complaining. From what Alex said that was on his police report, they claimed that Savannah Guthrie didn't feel safe with the YouTubers being in front of her mother's house. Well, she's in New York. Why would she not feel safe? Now, that's what's in the police report. She did not feel safe. YouTubers aren't in front of Savannah Guthrie's house. She's in New York. So it's just weird. I think they're just jealous because they don't get the JLR gets more viewers than they do. JLR's got a bigger audience than NBC. They don't like them. No, and there you go. Boom. Sheriff didn't like all the exposure. That's right. Lots of homelessness, lots of crime. They didn't want that crime being uncovered either, and that was shown. All the homelessness too, all the drugs, because the YouTubers are boots on the ground. I think you're exactly right. Oh yeah, many. And we got to remember too where it's at. They're pretty close to cartel activity as well. So there's a lot of dynamics I think going on with that one too. But I think from what the police report says with Alex that the police officer stated that they had been in contact with the family and she didn't feel safe with the YouTubers. They're only talking true crime. Why? They're keeping eyes and ears open on the case. You want the case to go cold? Because the regular media certainly wasn't out there. They were only out there, do their shot and come back. They didn't do any reporting. They weren't going around looking. The YouTubers were going out and searching. I heard that a network reporter was tipped off to film the arrest rather than warn him. Who? Arrest who, Cindy? Alex? Alex had his live stream going. That's how it got filmed. That's how his arrest got filmed. I'm confused. Pockets are deep. Yeah, just weird. There was some just weird. There's a lot of weirdness surrounding that entire case. Sleepers are their target practicing. Just weird. We're going to have to watch that and see. They might, there was something with, they released more of the ransom notes. And the second ransom note was very odd. That they were sorry that she had passed away and just very weird. And it was all we. It was written in we. Oh, yeah, Maureen was on the interview. Yeah, with Chris. Yes, I heard on the interview room was told a reporter knew it was going to happen. Oh, okay. Maureen was on probably on the interview room. And they know. I mean, Chris McDonough does a good podcast. A reporter knew it was going to happen. Okay. Not many. Not many. Oh, that's terrible what they did to Alex. It's terrible. It's terrible what they did to Alex. Well, she apparently doesn't like YouTubers because she wishes she could have an audience like what JLR has. She's making millions. And JLR's got his YouTube channel and his merch. If I went public, sheriff would have me arrested and I'm in a different state. He's terrible. I don't care. He's terrible. That whole thing has just been handled very weird. Very, very weird. None of it makes sense. None of it. None of it. it won't stop people from streaming and true crime being out on the airwaves. It's not going to stop it. They can't stop that. So, well, y'all, that's the case. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's just now this one is a weird case too, but I mean, I don't think there's anything shady going on. I think they are. I think they're getting. Let's hope they get close to finding Nicole for the kids. We'll hope they get close to finding her. So we'll keep an eye on the Guthrie case this week, y'all. And like I said, join us on Friday. It'll be fun, 8:00. And it's Astrology, the series on Facebook. Just ask to join. So if not, have a great, great weekend, you guys. Have a good one. And be safe, be careful. And I will see y'all next week for another edition. And I'll see you guys, other guys, Friday. So have a good couple of days. Have a great weekend. And I'll see y'all next week for another true crime story. Maybe we'll be talking about the Guthrie case. Won't that be something? I have to pull up that chart again. So I'll see y'all. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great weekend. Good night.